for joining us for another episode of Ask a Historian. I'm Matthew Wilkinson, historian with Heritage Mississauga, and we invite you to send in your questions and we'll explore the fascinating stories of the city of Mississauga together. Like, subscribe, and follow us and stay up to date on all the heritage happenings with Heritage Mississauga. And I am thrilled this week to be joined by Lyla Stockdale and Shirley Erskine of the Clarkson Society of Artists right here in Mississauga. And it is a group that has been long running in our city and is celebrating its 60th anniversary here in 2023. And I had to do the math on my fingers to make sure the numbers were right, but 60 indeed. So Lyla, Shirley, thank you for spending some time with us here today.
You're welcome.
So, well, let's jump right in. I'll be honest. I have not an art bone in my body. I appreciate art. I cannot make it to save my life. So it's the Clarkson Society of Artists is something I've read about, something I've seen the work of over the years. Shirley, I know we've crossed paths before, but the 60th anniversary snuck up on me. It wasn't until I got the flyer in the mail from the art gallery that lo and behold, here this group is 60. And so, can you tell me a little bit about the history of the Clarkson Society of Artists, which was, from what I understand on your website, was formerly the Clarkson Art Group, and so obviously 60 years old. So you've got a story here, and I'm just curious if you can share with us a little bit about the history of the group.
Shirley, you want to go and say the origins?
The origins. It was started many years ago by Beth Southcott, and she was a member of Christ Church United, and started the group from the membership of the church. And then from there on, it grew as the people in the community found out about it. It started out as a home group with Beth, and it became cumbersome. So they appealed to the church for space. Now, picture this. We are joining this group of amateur painters, and the only room they can give us is their nursery room. And we are all in our 30s, 40s, whatever, not tiny ladies. And there we are sitting on these little tiny chairs with these kindergarten tables, creating whatever Beth came up with, which was usually a still life, and enjoying each other's company and learning along the way. She was very patient, I must admit. But that was my impression of the beginnings, and that started me on that little room started me on a lifetime career. So that's my story.
I'm trying to picture you paint a nice picture of all these little chairs.
Oh, tiny little chair. It was okay getting down into them. Getting out of them was a different story.
I have pictures of that room with people in it.
Oh, that's awesome.
There used to be a sandbox, a little bit of a raised sandbox. Yeah. And the kids used to dig in there and play, but we used to put a big board over it so that the teacher would do the demo on that little sandbox.
So the formation of the group, so what year did the group form in again?
63.
63. And how long were you in the tiny classroom?
I like that tiny classroom. It didn't, as the group expanded, we had to find more space and appealed to the church, and then we had to start paying for space. This was a gift using the kindergarten, but then we had to start paying for, and the group grew very quickly. As the word was passed around, it just seemed to expand overnight. I don't know.
So, but for all, like, from that point forward, like you've met in the nursery room, but then you find other space within the church. This group has always met in the church, correct? I think
Yes.
that's remarkable over its history. I mean, you've got a group that's not only connected to a space and a community, but has a consistency in the place that it's met. So that's remarkable too. And it also talks, I guess, about the church's connection to the community over a period of time as well. It's a space that's been there. I've certainly done programs in Christchurch as well. Um, so what you mentioned Beth Southcott, and that's a name that's known in local history as well. She was involved in a lot of different things in the community. How about some
Yeah.
of the other early members that you remember? Shirley, you're a longtime member of the group. Some of the just, I know it's not a roll call. We're going to miss people, but I'm just thinking some of the significant members and connections that the group has had.
Well, my goodness, I have to think back now. Some of the first members were Pat Bidwell, who recently passed, unfortunately. Eileen Oswald. They lived very close to the church, and they were members of the church. So they were part of the ones that brought in. And Eileen went on to do a lot of one-person shows, and she was, I believe, named Artist of the Year in Mississauga. I don't remember which year it was. Can you think of any others, Lyla?
Bridget Schreier.
Oh, of course.
Bridget Schreier. Gee, I'm sorry. Doreen Renner more recently than Eileen and Pat. Diane Sertan. Winnie Wynn was her last name?
Winnie Wilson.
Yeah. There's so many of them that I can't remember them all. If I had a list in front of me, and many of our members are in the Mississauga Art Gallery's collection.
Wonderful, yes.
There's 5 members in there, and Shirley is one of them.
Now you mentioned Beth Southcott, and again, that's a name I've come across other places in our local stories. How about some of the other early instructors? Like you mentioned, she was instrumental in kind of teaching and shaping the group in its early years. How did were there others that came along that kind of guide the work of the group?
Well, in the beginning, it was all Beth and excuse me. George Rackus, who's quite famous with the Color and Reform Society. Let's see. Jack Joel from downtown Toronto. He was a teacher at Ryerson. He came out. Telford Fenton, very famous artist of portraits. He came out. This is after we became much more sophisticated and got out of the nursery. I'm trying to think of names, and they're the 3 that I remember most vividly because they were advanced artists.
Right.
And we were getting away from the instructional, this is a paintbrush idea.
Yeah.
Getting more intense teaching. Yeah. Although Beth did a wonderful job. I won't take anything away from her.
Right.
And she was a self-taught artist. Her career was as a physiotherapist, and a part of her physiotherapist teaching was art. And this just followed through into Clarkson.
And over the years, just again, I've not participated myself, but do you bring in like guest instructors to kind of teach you new techniques and things like that? Is
that's been Lila's absolutely wonderful programs she's been bringing in. No,
I tried to vary the subject matter, the techniques, so people don't get stale. They're not just doing watercolor.
Right.
They're doing acrylics. They're doing all sorts of different printmaking. We've even done printmaking there without a press. So it's a different technique altogether. Oils, pastels in the past. We don't do that now because of the fumes, the dust and everything, you know. But we've done a collage. I've tried to vary it. And I think a lot of people have learned so many different techniques and ran with them with their own vision.
Right. I remember my mother years ago, and I don't believe she was connected to Clarkson, but she painted in the oils. And I remember the drying rack at home for them, and how long they took to dry, and the smell that came off of them.
Right, right. Yeah, that
Um,
we didn't have oils. We had oils in the beginning, and then we didn't have them for a while because of the terps and the smell and
yeah,
everything, because there is the daycare
yeah,
downstairs. But I think with the new innovations, it's not turpentine anymore. It's another alkaline something or other.
yeah.
Um, we are allowed. I don't know if we're allowed. We have to find out, but um, we can possibly do oils again in in the church.
I like the richness of oils. Again, there's a vibrancy to it, I find. But uh, so it just so from the instructors, I mean, the group in 1968, from what I understand, changed their name from the Clarkson Art Group to the Clarkson Society of Artists. Uh, how has the group evolved over time? You mentioned how it's grown, and not only grown, but grown out into new spaces within the church. But how has the group changed over time? I think you've alluded to it with how the instruction that's taken place, but.
That
I
was
think the instruction has been a big part of the growth. It's made people aware of different ideas, different ways for them to explore and
Right.
to innovate. And we've always, years ago, we used to go to art galleries all over the place, used to, away for a day trip sort of thing, and see different things, that people are doing, and encourage them to go to other art shows and join other groups too. I mean, our members are members of other groups also, and take workshops.
Right.
That's the we just push them, or I try to push them with the program to explore their own ideas.
So I get the feel that it's a combination of this the skill building and instruction, and but there's a social element to it as well. Like you're gathering, it's a camaraderie as well. So I get that feel from
Yeah.
conversations. So
in the beginning, we used to be the ladies who go downtown and tour the art galleries. And one of our first major accomplishments was the fact that we were invited to show at the Canadian National Exhibition.
oh wow, when was that?
That I can't remember the year, but it's before they closed down the Arts and Crafts building.
Okay.
We were invited between, I think there were four other groups, Etobicoke, North York. Oh my goodness, I can't remember who the other one was, and us. And we had a show down there, which we all had to take turns sitting.
Yeah.
And that was getting to know other artists from other places. And it was part of almost like a mix of exchange of ideas, and it's part of the growth.
That's fun. That's fun.
But it was another vehicle for us to learn about
Mm-hmm.
other artists and to be together. We're a very tight knit group, and during the year we have what we call paint days when we don't have an instructor, and the members go and paint their own things or finish up from a workshop, but they bounce ideas off of each other.
Right.
And they really look forward to the paint days. And it's a social time also.
The question, one of the things that jumps into my mind for this is milestones, and you mentioned the exhibition exhibit must have been a significant milestone for the group, and obviously the 60th anniversary exhibit that's right around the corner for you coming up here at the Art Gallery of Mississauga. But what about are there other group milestones over the years, like high points of group exhibitions or things like that really kind of showcase the work of the society?
Well, we all went on to different directions. staying within the group, but we moved on to other things. Lyla, for one thing, was a gallery director at one point, and so was I. And I taught right across Canada.
Getting back to milestones, I think what each member has achieved, we consider that a milestone for all of us. It's been like Shirley has been to Dubai to take part in an international symposium, I think it was, Shirley. And we felt that we were there too. You know, it was just a wonderful experience that we knew somebody who accomplished that. And there's been other people who have achieved things that we just feel that we were the center of that going forward.
It was Clarkson who actually gave me the push I needed to get going and get into art school and to take courses and travel. I didn't know how much I didn't know, and I wanted to find out more. And that's what a lot of the members have done. I went to Sheridan College, graduated from there, and then took U of T. I mean, I didn't know what I didn't know, and I went from there. And it was Clarkson that gave me the shove.
Well, that's about as wonderful a tribute as I think you could have.
Well, it pushed me to a show in Paris and one in Florence, and traveled across Canada teaching workshops. And that all started with Clarkson, because that was the first instruction I'd ever had, formal instruction I'd ever had. It was before that, it was books and experimentation and such.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, it is Clarkson's fault.
So, here we are within a milestone this year, 2023, of course, marking the 60th anniversary of the group. And as part of that milestone, you have a special anniversary exhibition or showcase at the Art Gallery of Mississauga. Can you tell me more about the 60th anniversary showcase?
There are so many innovative pieces of art that you will see. The quality, the love that has been put into each piece. The members have gone unbelievably above and beyond. The artwork, I don't think this is just an ordinary art exhibit. It's an exhibit of what comes out of a group, individual and group. And I think you will see many innovative, different techniques and mediums that I don't know if you've seen before or experienced before, but I think it will be a very worthy show to go and see. I think it's very high quality.
That wonderful. When is the opening reception?
The 1st.
And a tribute here to the 60th anniversary of an incredible group with a long history here in the city that is still active today and still participating in art. How do people find out more about the Clarkson Society of Artists?
We have a website, and we also are on Facebook. Google Clarkson Society of Artists, and there's the website on membership and information on the group, why we do what we do, and things like that.
And new members are welcome, and find out more through the website?
Depends on where they live.
Yep.
We have a quota from the city, and also we have a room constraint. That's why we're 38 members. Not a waiting list.
Well, it's good to have waiting lists. There's a lot of groups that don't have that. So it's but to find out more and to connect with the group, You can visit the website or Facebook and come out and see the 60th anniversary showcase at the Art Gallery of Mississauga. And I'm sure via that also connect with the group via the showcase as well. So congratulations to both of you, but to the group for 60 years of community engagement and producing art. There we go. There's the 60th. And we'll link to that as well. But 60 years is a great milestone for a group, and it's still active and still producing. And think of all the people that have probably connected with the group over time. You're probably dealing with an incredible array of citizens here in the city of Mississauga over the years. And I'm fascinated with the fact that you're connected to the place in which you really began in terms of gathering and painting and Christ First United Church in Clarkson. So with that, I want to say thank you, Lyla. Thank you, Shirley, for joining us, exploring the story of the Clarkson Society of Artists, the 60th anniversary, and of course, highlighting the showcase at the Art Gallery of Mississauga opening on October 1st. So thank you so much for spending some time with us here.
Thank you, Matthew.
And thank you. Thank you for everyone who joined us this week for Ask a Historian. Remember to like, subscribe, and follow us and stay up to date on all the heritage happenings with Heritage Mississauga. And do not forget to go and see the 60th anniversary showcase of the Clarkson Society of Artists at the Art Gallery of Mississauga. The links will be below, and celebrate the creators of art here in the city of Mississauga and the stories that they share. So with that, thank you so much.